Too shabby, huh? Shout out to the ConAgeddon team for pretty much everything, but also putting on a heck of a party, and the cast that showed up. You guys, Zach was on, like, crowd surfing. What the heck? Did you see the video they put up on Instagram where he's like midair? It looks like King Roan in one of his jumps. It's incredible. He did it twice. I know, did he do front and back? It was very biblical, just having it was just like the scene. I know, it was incredible. It was incredible. Well, we know people are going to be trickling in. It is, you know, Hungover Sunday. Happy St. Patty's Day to you all. And I've been told that I'm accidentally cosplaying as Kim Possible because she wears green pants and black tops, so you're welcome. I meant to do that, and it's totally relevant to the 100. I'm not hungover, but I'm excited to be here today to go through, I think, 11 more panels. And we're going to start the morning with Mr. Zach McGowan. Heather, can you lights? Let's do lights. We'll roll the video. I think Zach's going to come out and watch his video with us.
On your feet.
Azgeda.
I'm here to help you.
Sure you are.
Maybe you're not the commander of that after all. Honor our deal.
Honor is my coalition.
Roan, Prince of Azgeda.
Sentries, arrest the accusation delegation, including the prince.
What I'm discussing here, Chief, is that it?
That's it. Kind of like killing every man, woman, and child. And not whether it's best for yours. Not a bad point. Wait a second. Give us a minute.
I don't want to come Heimer. You want to come Booster.
Get it over with.
Let me out. Who the hell is this?
He's Ice Nation.
King of the Ice Nation, actually.
Wait.
Except that I chose you.
Not surprised.
Fuck this shit, I'm not. Fuck this shit, I'm not. Nowadays, on my knees, I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm not. Fuck this shit, I'm not. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. Don't give a fuck about this shit, I'm not.
Huge props to whoever edited that video. Permission to scoot up granted, as long as whoever has the VIP, if they need the seat, they can ask you to politely move. But yeah, I mean, it's 10 a.m., it's the first panel ConAgeddon, so move up unless you can't. Yeah, or stay seated, drink your coffee, and hydrate and take your vitamins. Zach McGowan is here. How you doing, Zach?
Oh, I mean, I lost Zach. I think I only got Roan left here.
Welcome, King Roan.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that video?
That was awesome. Wow. I mean, actually, it was like very much true.
I was gonna say, that's probably what was going through your head when you were filming.
Yeah. It's funny because, you know, I think a lot of people think that actors like have like a distinct idea of what a scene is going to be, but that is not really the case. Like, there's just words there, and then you have like a character that's been not fully defined yet by the writing and kind of how you see him, and you have like also your own life and all the things you're going through, and you know, however much maybe you partied last night might come into it, or you know, all that, and also like I didn't know. I mean, when you go on the show as like a guest star, you're pretty much just like, I mean, they're just gonna kill me tomorrow. You know, like that's the vibe. So I just always play it like, where's my death? Like, coming. Where's it coming? Where's it, like, bring it. What's it gonna be? You shoot me, you stab me, what's it gonna be? Like, you know.
At what point did you know you're going to be recurring?
So I knew I was recurring, but it's like, you know, like I think when I signed on, it was like only for like 3 episodes, definitely, and then none other. And then I got like a film offer in the middle of it, and I kind of, like, it wasn't probably the best move for me because but like it was to play the lead in a boxing movie, and it was like a cool character that I really wanted to play. And so they didn't have me on any kind of lock, and you know, like Jason was like, "You're gonna go?" I was like, "Well, you're gonna kill me tomorrow anyway, right?" Like, and he was like, "Well, I don't know." And I was like, "Oh, all right, well, I mean, I was like, I don't know, figure it out with Mike. Like, you know, like I'm down. I love the dude. Like I'll play the dude." And then just kind of, I went and did that movie, and they cut a bunch of my hair off, and I took my beard, I ended up like a Fu Manchu, and then like Mike called me and was like, I just finished shooting the movie, and Mike was like, how quick will your beard be back? And I was like, I mean, like tomorrow. Like, he was like, good, because like you're on a plane to Vancouver like tomorrow, and you gotta be Roan again. And I was like, oh, all right. And then we went up there, and it started to feel like maybe I was gonna stick around for a while, and then all of a sudden I got shot in the chest, and I was like, all right, that's the end. I'm done. You know, like Mike was like, what was it? Was it like right in the chest? Was it, you know, it was like, you know, you always try to figure out like whether or not there's a chance that you'll be back. I was like, no, they point blank shot me like straight up in the chest.
The fan theories were wild. They're like, oh my God, Zach's coming back. They would not kill off Zach McGowan.
Yeah, so I just figured I'm done. I mean, if you shoot me point blank in the chest, I will be dead. You know, I'm pretty sure about that. But then I got a call. I was actually, I was on, I had rent, on Father's Day, I take my kids fishing. And at the time, Elsie was like, I feel like she was like 6 or 5. And Nellie, my second born, was like 2 years younger than whatever that was. And I was just fishing alone with them. I rented like a pontoon boat in this lake, and we were just like killing it on bass. Like, there's a bass coming out every second. Early in the morning, we get out there, and like I'm in the middle of the boat. Like I'm like trying to put worms on a hook, and you know, like Nellie is eating an apple, and a bee, or not a bee, a yellow jacket's like trying to take pieces out of the apple, and she's freaking out. And like, you know, I just killed the yellow jacket because she's worried about it. It's like, bam! And she's like, oh, good. And there's like another yellow jacket, and it comes, and it like hits me hard, like hits me like the back of the neck. I'm like, down! Trying to like smack it, and it stings Nellie on the arm, like by her apple. And I finally like get it, and I'm like, all right, there's no more around. I'm good. My kid, she's the first time she's been stung by anything, so she's obviously like screaming, and I'm like, I don't even know if she's allergic yet, you know what I mean? Like, it's the first time, and I'm like on a boat in the middle of the lake, and I'm like, I think there's a wonder. I was like, there's like, take the boat back there and see, and my phone rings. It's like, I don't know, it's like 10, 11, like sometime in the, like we've been fishing a long time, and my phone rings, and it's Mike, and he's like, series regular offer, I'm hungry for all. I'm like, how? Shot in the chest. And he's just like, you know, your agents call you and they give you like a rundown of what, you know, like what the offer is, like what's going on. You know, they offer you certain amounts of episodes, and whether it's going to be all episodes, all these things. And he's like, you want to do it? And I was like, well, of course, you know, like, why not? You know, just out here fishing. And Nellie's just like, you know, and I'm like trying to put ice on it, and I'm like holding the ice on the thing. I'm like, it's gonna be all right, sweetie. I think, you know, I'm looking, I'm like, it's not, you know, it's not swelling up too much. I think it's gonna be like, you're gonna be okay. It just hurts. And literally, like, that's how I ended up. And I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds like a good deal, I'll do it.
That was a great story. I wondered where it was going with the fishing, but we got there. So, way to reel it in. Thank you so much. I'll be here all week. I won't. Before we open to fan questions, I know a lot of people have been asking about the Western with Bob that you have filmed. Please tell us all about it.
All right, so it was almost 2 years ago we filmed. I got an offer to play like this, like Old West kind of traveling lawman who like travels through the Old West and goes from, you know, because in the Old West there wasn't like actually like law yet, so like I guess they traveled from town to town to make sure everything was cool. No one was, you know, killing everyone or whatever. It was some young filmmakers, and you know, they had, you know, like most young independent filmmakers, they had like not enough to try to, but they're trying to do something and trying to tell a story, and it's very important to them, and they were really, you know, they really wanted me to do it, and you know, they were from Montana, and I'd been out there doing another movie, and so they came to talk, and the director of that movie was like, hey, these guys are cool, you should, I mean, they really want you to do it, you should see that. He's like, they had absolutely no money or anything, so, you know, I don't know, I was like, all right, well, I'll just talk to them, and I chatted with them, and I read the script, and I was like, oh, my whole life I wanted to play a guy like this. And they didn't have much, and then I kind of helped them with that a little bit. I know some film investors, and I was like, hey, you know, if I can sign on, maybe this guy will put some money in, and we kind of like got just like enough to just barely go into production on the movie, and there was a really good part in it that we need. Like he's kind of like the troublemaker in the movie a bit. He like comes to town, and there's like it was only like you know, like there's a couple scenes, but they're all in one location. So that's like when you have a couple scenes in one location, you can probably shoot that character out fairly quick. And Bob obviously was just having a child, and you know, just stopping the show, and I was like, they were like, you know, we don't have really, you know, enough money to really make offers to people and all that. And I was like, you know, they were just asking me, like, who do you think you might be able to get into, you know, do some parts and stuff, because we're trying to grow it. I called Bob, and I was like, yo, there's this great part in here for you as a cowboy. Like, and he said, what is it? I was like, it's a little movie, man, but like they actually have, we got a Western town, so most of the movies like me out in the West on the horse and all that, so there's just certain parts of it where you're in the town, and obviously the town is like the most expensive expense, because you're going to the town, and there's got to be hundreds of people in the town dressed up like they're in the Old West, and there's got to be horses, and you know, all the things that a town has. It's very hard to make look real if you have limited resources. So they're concentrating on that. He's like, do they have all that? And I was like, yeah, I'm here right now, man. He's like, I'll do it. And I was like, cool. I was like, when you need me out here? I was like, I mean, like if you could get on a plane right now, like it would be good. And he was like, all right. He literally just flew out, and costume fittings and rehearsals, and before we knew it, you know, we were just facing off, and it's actually pretty cool. There's like a nice, I don't want to give away, but there's a nice little kind of roller coaster of that relationship that happens. There's like a big, you know, like most movies, there's like a big action sequence kind of thing at the end, the big kind of thing, and Bob's, that's like the part that Bob's in really a lot. We had a blast. We finished shooting it, which was like act of God to actually get all of it shot with limited resources in like Montana. I mean, Montana's, however rough the conditions are in Vancouver, like when you're out in the woods in Montana, it is like for instance, like we had bears, like I got charged by a grizzly, like, you know, like it's, and like I had like a fake gun, like it's like, I was like, maybe I should, you know, this is, and oh, by the way, like, our first day of production, the rust thing happened. So, you know, and there's like a lot of guns in Westerns, and this is like limited resources, so I'm like, I become the armorer. I'm like, because I'm in every scene, I was like, yo, I'm doing this, no one's getting shot. I was like, you know, so I literally like, I checked the guns, I mean, it was like, because it was such a big thing, and it was so terrible, that thing that happened, you know, so, and obviously we're small, so we're just trying to not have any kind of thing, and we were able to do it, and the movie has been edited, it is great, I'm very proud of it, and it will be released at some point, but it was originally called Death on the Dearborn, but right now we're probably going to call it Dearborn. That's the town. It's a true story from, it's actually, they tell me, I don't know, they tell me it's like the first, it's the investigation on like the first murder-suicide in Montana state history. And we shot it, I'm very proud of it, it's awesome. Bob's fantastic in it, and there's two guys who put money into it who are in a, you know, disagreement, and because of that, until there's an agreement there, they can't release it, and I have been trying to negotiate peace. I know both of them. I've been out and sat down with them, and I think the movie will be coming out soon. I'm sorry for any delay.
Just keep us posted on Instagram, and so that we can all make sure we rent it. We have a few minutes if y'all want to line up and ask Mr. Zach some questions. Feel free to use an Irish accent or not. Can you do one?
I can do an Irish accent, but my voice is pretty. That's not right. What's up, brother?
Was what was your favorite scene to play in the 100?
You know, there's so many cool scenes I got to do. I was really fortunate on that show. Like, they really wrote me on the show. They really wrote me some great stuff. But honestly, like, my favorite scene is just me and Eliza in, I call it the microwave room. And we're like up above, looking down, and we're talking about all that. It was a really interesting moment because there was like a medical emergency with someone on the production, and we were shooting one episode, but they couldn't shoot the person, so they hadn't fully written the second one or something. And like Jason was like, if I give you like a long dialogue scene right now, can you shoot it in 5 minutes? And I was like, sure. And he literally like he was like, cool, go to hair and makeup, like we'll have the script in like a second. And I was like, it's not done yet. He's like, we're working on it, you know. And because like the nature of the medical emergency had meant that they had to change all kinds of schedules, and things were crazy. You know, like that's the reality about these shows. Like there's just so many moving parts that all those things. So that scene up there with Eliza was like, we had like moments, like literally just moments to look at it, and me and her just like, we were like, I was like, I think we ran it once, and we were like, oh, that's a really pretty scene. Like that's really touching, and literally like they turned on stuff, and we like shot it in like one take up there in like 10 or 15 minutes, and it's like my favorite scene by far.
Impressive. Nice. Thank you. Good question.
Thank you.
Hi, I want to ask, if you could have played a different character on the show, who would you have wanted to play?
I mean, there's so many great characters. There are kind of two ways I try to answer that. Like, there's the character I think I could actually maybe do that, and then there's like the one that like I wish I could do that, but I don't. I would love to be able to be that kind of character. I'm not really as good, but like, you know, Murph is, you know, I'm like, dude, that character, he's awesome. Like, you know.
It's so funny, every single actor who said Murphy.
He's a really, like, he's just, obviously a great guy, but he's a really, really good actor. Like, you know, when you work with actors, it's kind of like, I used to be a chef back in the day, and I was a bartender back in the day. Like, you know, people in crafts have respect for other people's crafts of, like, you're like, oh, that guy can make a martini, or that guy can, you know, that girl was good at, you know, that, and yeah, I mean, Richard, he's just a really good actor, like, and he would have been here, but he's such a good actor, you gotta be on set.
And who's the character that you think you wouldn't be able to play?
He's the one that I wouldn't be able to.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to, okay.
I wouldn't be able to play. I could do everywhere.
Good question, thank you.
Morning. Semi-two-part question. As a fellow CH, Zach, at what point in your life how often do people spell your name with the K? And at what point in your life did you stop correcting people?
I mean, probably 99% of the time spelled with a K, at least, maybe more, 99.9. Like, very rarely was the H included. And then when, you know, if you correct someone, they're like, Zach.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
But they don't understand how Zachary is spelled C-A-C-H-A-R-Y.
Zach.
Yeah, Zach. So that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, so I think at what point in my life, I mean, I don't remember the last time I corrected someone, because, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't really care what people call me. Like, you can, like, my dad's like, you with the face. I'm like, you know, but to me, it's, you know, but I get the frustration, and I'm not that good of a speller anyway. So I don't correct people's spelling in general. I'm like, you will spell my name right. In fact, actually, I've been credited as Zach with a K in movies. Yeah, like there's movies and TV shows that have it up there, have McGowan spelled with an E-N instead of an A-N at the end. You know, there's like, oh, you know, it doesn't matter because I'm still me, so, you know, whatever.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Maury Prime.
Morning.
So this is a question for my mom. Do you like goats as well as other, because you like farm animals, so do you like goats and your opinion on goats?
On goats.
Goats. So I do like goats. I mean, you mean to like, yeah, never mind. I do like goats.
Zach McGowan.
Well, I mean, you know, curry goat is like a big Jamaican dish, and it's like a very well-established dish, and it happens to be one of my favorite foods. But, so I like curry goat, but I also like goats. And I think that little goats are really, really cute, and they kind of like get a little scarier as they get a little older. And I find their eyes to be a little creepy, like the square pupils a little weird. But it's funny because one of my daughter's friends has a little goat, and yeah, I love the goats. In fact, I have thought there's some areas of my property that I've been like, maybe there, like we could put some goats back out there, and they can just, you know, eat out there and live their lives, and we maybe don't have to go cut the stuff out there if they're out there.
I love your answers, they're so long. I love Sunday ConAgeddon. Great answer though, yes.
I'm sorry.
No, please, there's no rush.
Hi, what are your top 3 favorite movies?
Ooh.
Like letterboxed up here, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's hard to just pick like any one favorite movie, but I have like a list of my kind of favorite all-time movies, and you know, like, for the most part, not surprising to people. You probably all are not surprised that I love Gladiator and Braveheart and, you know, like, I think the movie The Rock is the best action movie ever. That's Michael Bay's first movie. I think that's the best action movie ever made. You know, which I got to tell Michael at his house. So I was like,
Nice name drop.
yeah, that's the best movie. Well, he had, because, you know, he produced Black Sail, so we know each other. He's a good guy, actually. Hey, Michael, do you watch? I don't think he's.
Hi, Michael Bay.
Yeah. He's a good guy. So I love those, but I think the one that's kind of like most surprising to people, I actually like, if I pick like my number, if I had to just pick one movie, it's The Never-Ending Story, which I also think is like maybe one of the best action movies of all time, and also one of the best like fantasy movies of all time, and that's like whatever movie of all time. I mean, for a lot of my life, you know, I wanted to name my firstborn Atreyu. Like my firstborn was a girl, and I was like, maybe Atreya, and my wife was like, no. All right. And then we were gonna name Vinny, my son, we were gonna name him Atreyu, and my dad ended up in like a really bad medical emergency, like just before he was born, and we almost lost him, and he was in the hospital, the same hospital that Vinny and Josie were born in, just like in the ICU, like 1 or 2 floors down, and he was literally after the baby, he was like not conscious for a while, and when the babies were born, was actually like, it just randomly kind of, like he started gaining consciousness and being able to talk again, just like literally like 5 minutes after that, just downstairs, and you know, it was a really emotional moment, obviously for everyone, and I was like, you know, this is my wife, I was like, we should name him after him, you know, we should give him that, like, get better dad, like, you got a little grandson that's got your name, so Benny Jr. So my dad's Vincent, so yeah.
Oh, great story, very sweet. Thank you for sharing. And all that for one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, because that's, I
know.
I literally, like, I was gonna name, like, a trailer, and there's part of me, like, I might need to have another kid just to make a trailer.
You could get like another dog.
Yeah, but,
Just saying, it might be cheaper.
yeah.
I've heard, I don't know. Next question. Or go.
Go get the trailer.
I'm Kayla.
Hey, Kayla.
I want to say thank you for last night. Your
Whoa.
positive attitude. Listen,
That was wild.
your energy is so infectious. So thank you for a good time.
Cosign.
So my question, so someone asked you, how would you rewrite Rowan's ending? And you said you don't know if you would really change anything. I think your dad had to do with the black rain, and that pissed me off. So do you think, if remove the black rain, who would have won that fight, Luna or Rowan?
Well, I mean, she was clearly really good.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, Octavia is no, you know, she's really good too. So we were teamed up, and you know, as somebody who actually like has some fight training, like if you have a 2-on-1 and it's 2 people who are trained against 1 person who is trained, that 1 person will never win. Like, you know, you could put 2 chumps up against someone who's trained, and they will, you know, lose. But like, if you put 2 trained boxers of almost any weight class in with any boxer of any weight class, they're going to knock him out. And so that is the way I'd say that.
Okay, thank you.
What up?
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you.
I got no voice.
Where's your hat?
I was at home.
This is Remy, everyone.
I hope everyone had just as fun as us. I sound like you. When you were doing Rowan, and then obviously, like you did Vane and everybody as well. What was the development into your character? Like when you were like reading, doing your reads and everything, when you looked at Roan, what went through your mind on how to like fully portray him? Like, yeah.
Well, I think when you're, so I like, you know, my dad and my brother are Marines, and when you play like warriors, right? Because I knew he was a warrior. Like they, you know, basically the only thing that Jason told me, other than, you know, he's like, you'll be a bounty hunter. You're gonna think he's a bounty hunter. He's gonna have her, and you're gonna think he's like looking for a reward or something. But he actually is like a warrior from another culture that we're bringing in. And you know, I didn't know I was a prince or any of that stuff. He was like, he's a warrior, and I was like what? Like a warrior, like what? He was like, I was like, what's this culture? And he was like, you know, he was saying something. I was like, are they like? He was saying something. I was like, is it like Sparta or Athens? And he was like, Sparta, and I was like, okay, I know what you're talking about. I was like, so he had a tough. He had like they put him through like shit as a kid, and he was like, yeah. I was like, all right. Then you know, I knew how to like. Once he said that, I kind of knew that was going to define most of him, and all warriors that I have met live by codes because it's so important. And so I just really was trying to figure out what his code was, and like, because I knew they were going to be introduced like as a villainous culture. I always think on TV, if there's or in a story, if they present something one way, then you should kind of play it like the other. And so I was like trying my best to play him as a good man, even though I knew he was going to have to do things that bad men do. And that was like the most of my preparation, was really like trying to figure out how to like justify tying up this girl and like dragging her through the mud and like being kind of gruff and with her. But I was like, he's saving her life because there's a lot of dangerous people out here, and she doesn't understand that being out here is really hard, and if she stays out here, she's going to die. So I'm just going to have to save her life against her will. It was kind of the mental element of that, and that's kind of how I do almost all of my characters. Is I try to understand like what they have to do and what they feel about that, and then that usually defines the rest of it.
Yes. Good question.
Okay.
Hi, Zach.
Hey, what's up?
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Glad to be in Boston. I wrote this question down because I was going to forget it otherwise. So, kind of piggybacking on a previous question, if Roan had won the conclave, who do you think he should have chosen as his second-in-command or his right-hand man or woman to help run things post-Prime Fire? I personally think you should pick Clark. I totally understand if you have a different answer, but I think you and Eliza have great chemistry, and I really enjoyed that character dynamic between the two of you.
Yeah, I think there would be almost no other choice in that, because you don't want you know, part of me's like, all right, you know, he's teamed up with Octavia and that, and they were on it, but like, you don't want like two, yeah, you don't want like, you know, like you don't want like two sword-wielding murderers leading the world, like, right? You want like that, and then like a more diplomatic person, like, you know. So I think, you know, that would have been like that would have been what made sense to him. But I mean, for me personally, like, I think if he won, he'd have been like, this monarchy shit is over. We're taking a vote. Yeah.
Good question, thank you. Can someone bring the microphone down, please? You can take it out.
I knew that.
Thank you.
Hi, so I'm Allison, and I'm a children's librarian, so I have to ask, what are your children reading right now? What are they into?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of different ages. My 10-year-old really and my 12-year-old really loved Percy Jackson. They're like, they read everything, and they're like, why aren't there more books? I'm like, these things take a long time for people to write, So they're reading that right now, or they're finished up with that. I mean, they've read all of Harry Potter's, all of the, Lord of the Rings stuff. Both of them, my older girls are really like ferocious readers. They can read so much faster than me. It's like, I'm like a slow reader. Like, I read things very slowly, and I try I'm just like, and they're just like, they'll read a whole book in like 2 or 3 hours. Find their book. So they're reading those, and then obviously the little ones, are learning the alphabet and, to spell, and we spend a lot of time reading, potty books because, that's a really important part of our life right now. Because, everybody goes potty, and, that's a good book. And, that's what they read. Although we're dealing with a little of like lots of storytelling that's not real, and so we've been reading The Boy Who Cries Wolf every night just to remember that, like, integrity is important. That when people stop believing you, that really sucks. Because they're not going to believe you. Right? Nice. Months, yeah, we're in months of that. Just like, just if you keep lying, no one's going to believe you, and then it's going to suck. So, yeah.
And do you have a favorite book that you've read?
I do a lot of things, but like spending a lot of time reading books is not one of them.
That's okay. Audiobooks are great.
But I do have some books that I do like, but like they're more like I don't really enjoy reading fiction as much. As nonfiction. Like I like to when I get into something, like I'll get like a book about there's like a lot of stuff that grows on my property and stuff. So like I spend a lot of time reading like books about what this tree is and how that kind of stuff, like to understand. Like for instance, I drilled a well on my property, and like I've read like pretty much all the books about that kind of stuff, so I can understand and whatnot. So I'm more of like, I read like manuals of how to do things and understand systems more than how to read a story.
You're my favorite dude bro ever.
Thank you.
And shout out to librarians in this country right now. Yes. Doing amazing work. Thank you.
Hey, how we doing? What's up? Thank you. By the way, thank you, man. Thank you. Before you ask your question, like you guys, many of you here have talked to me about how something I did or some show I did or something that had lifted you up and given you some sort of hope or given you, something inside. But I'm just gonna say, y'all actually lifted me up into the air, like physically, and you held me, and thank you.
Yeah, honestly, that goes into my what I wanted to say. Like your personality is tripping me out because you see King Roan, just a really serious character. And I also know you play like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. Such a serious character. And then I see you now, I'm like, that can't be him. And, seeing you party and stuff, and I'm like, is this the same guy? And so I just want to give props to you for being able to do that. Because it's like going from one side to joyful to like, hey, I'm scared of this person. And so I just want to know how long did it take for you to really get to that point where you just switch gears like that?
I've been acting like my whole life. Like I started, as the previous question would probably indicate, I did not do very well in certain classes. So there was kind of like two places at school that I found, a connection and, gym was one of them, and drama in elementary school was the other, because I always loved playing make-believe. I always loved, exploring who I am, who I could be, who could someone believe me as. So, like, I don't know when I developed that, but I just always did. And I think what's really important about acting and what's really important about storytelling is that we all could be so many different people. We have the ways we're born, the decisions we make, the things we feel, and all those things, the dark side of us and the light side of us, and all of these things are together that makes a person. And no person is just one thing, and no person is the same thing always, the same person always in every situation, because just life dictates different things. So a long answer again of rambling, but I feel like I've always kind of been this way, and I'm like, my dad once told me, like, my dad's kind of like a code kind of guy, and he's like, one of the most important things is to always treat people like respectfully, and then to treat them as they treat you, like after that. Like at first you're respectful, but then if they're not respectful, then maybe. So like what I mean is like, this is just an example of like, everyone is so lovely and loving, and everyone is so great that that there's nothing else to come back than that. But like you say, like that other guy that you see, he's there too. And there are people who have to bring that guy out, but that's not you guys. Like, so it's that. No doubt. And thank you. You really helped me out.
And we are out of time. Thank you for touching up tonight. Zach McGowan for being here.